You know that feeling? You're standing in the supermarket, just staring at this wall of plastic-wrapped trays, and you can't help but wonder, what's the real story behind the meat I'm about to buy? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and figure out what it really means to be a conscious meat eater.
It's the big question, isn't it? And it's one that more and more of us are starting to ask. We're looking past just the price tag and the brand name, and we're getting really curious about the journey our food takes to get to our plate.
This quote from the Meat Cookbook just nails that feeling perfectly. For, decades, this was pretty much it. Pork chops, ground beef, it was all presented as this uniform product, totally disconnected from the animal it actually came from.
But here's the good news. There is a better way. A way that's all about understanding the source, respecting the animal, and, let's be honest, getting a much, much more delicious result in the end. This is what it's all about. Food that you don't just eat, but that you truly experience. Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Because before we can become a better cook, we kind of have to become a more conscious shopper. Understanding why your choice of meat matters. That's step one, and it's the most important one. So here's the thing. We're looking for the story behind the steak. The modern meat eater wants the details. Where did it come from? What was its life like? What did it eat? It's not just a slab of protein, right? It's the result of a specific place, a specific life, and a very specific diet. And that brings us to one of the biggest distinctions out there, grain-fed versus grass-fed. Now on the left, you've got grain-fed systems. They're built for speed and efficiency, no doubt, but they often use up a ton of land and crops that we humans could be eating. But now look at grass-fed on the right. This system is kind of magical. It uses land that often can't grow crops for us anyway, and it lets animals do this amazing thing. They turn grass, which we can't digest, into super nutritious food packed with healthier fats. It's a whole different ballgame agriculturally and nutritionally.
This all leads to this idea of happy meat. It's a simple concept, but it's so powerful. Good animal welfare is absolutely key. When you give animals conditions that are close to their natural habitat, letting them graze or roam, it reduces their stress. And guess what? A less stressed animal produces higher quality, better tasting meat. It's a total win-win.
All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how. This is where you take all that knowledge and actually put it into action when you're standing at the butcher's counter. Here you go. This is your new toolkit. Don't be intimidated. These 3 simple questions are going to open up a whole conversation and tell you everything you really need to know. Where's it from? How is it raised? And this last one, this is the secret weapon for amazing flavor. How is it aged? Let's break down that third question about aging, because it's a huge deal for flavor. Dry aging, that's the classic method. The meat is hung in this super controlled, cold environment. It loses water, which just dramatically concentrates that beefy, nutty flavor. At the same time, natural enzymes start to tenderize it. Wet aging, on the other hand, just means it's aged in a vacuum-sealed bag. Sure, it makes the meat more tender, but you completely miss out on that incredible depth of flavor that only dry aging can give you.
And right here, this is where we bust a giant myth. For years, we've been taught to think that bright cherry red meat is the best, right? Well, that's not the whole story. Fresh, unaged meat, yeah, it's got that bright color, but a properly dry-aged steak has a much deeper, almost purplish color. That darker shade, that's a sign of maturity, and it's basically a promise of a much richer, more complex flavor. So don't be afraid of the dark meat.
So you've done your homework. You've asked the right questions, you've chosen your meat with care, and now for the best part, the delicious payoff. Let's get into the real secrets to amazing flavor. When we talk about a great piece of meat, we're really talking about a perfect balance of these 4 things. Tenderness, that melt-in-your-mouth feeling, comes from proper aging. Succulence is that rich quality that comes from fat. The actual flavor is a direct result of the animal's diet and its age. And juiciness, that's all about the moisture locked inside. They all have to work together. And now, for maybe the most important secret of all. I'm going to say it loud and clear. Fat is not the enemy. In the world of meat, fat is your best friend. It's what creates that amazing succulence. And it's like a delivery system, carrying all those delicious, complex flavors straight to your taste buds. Let's actually see what this looks like. Here we've got a very lean cut, something like venison. See how there's almost no visible fat inside the muscle? This meat will have a really pure, gamey flavor, but because it doesn't have that internal fat, you have to cook it carefully, like a quick sear or a slow braise, so it doesn't dry out. Next up, here's a standard lean cut, the kind most of us are used to seeing. You can see fat, sure, but it's mostly between the big muscle groups, not woven through them. This is going to be great for things like roasts or stews where that fat can slowly render down.
And finally, this. This is what chefs and food lovers get so excited about: marbling. Look at those beautiful white flecks and lines. That is intramuscular fat. When you cook this, all that fat melts, basically basting the steak from the inside out. That is the secret to that incredibly succulent, buttery, and flavorful steak we're all dreaming about.
So what does this all add up to? Well, it leads us to a really simple but pretty profound shift in how we think. It's a whole new philosophy for how we approach meat, and it's all about focusing on quality over quantity. And this quote just says it all. The goal isn't to eat more meat, it's to eat better meat. It's about making it an occasion, choosing it carefully, savoring it, and really appreciating the whole story behind it.
We've gone all the way from that anonymous plastic package in the supermarket to really understanding the craft and care that goes into great meat. You're now armed with everything you need to know to make better choices. So, I guess the only question left is, what are you going to ask your butcher next time?